Nearly 150,000 mail-in ballots were rejected in California's June primary. Well, that's the highest total in recent elections, despite the state's efforts to make voting more accessible. State data showing most rejections were caused by ballots arriving too late or receiving a postmark after Election Day. Others rejected over missing or mismatched signatures.
Election experts saying there's no evidence of widespread fraud, but it's putting California's notoriously slow election counting back in the spotlight. Steve Hilton is a candidate for California governor, and he joins us now. Great to see you as always, Steve. So what can be done to reform the elections in California? And if elected, do you have a plan to address this once in office?
Yeah, well, if you elect me, we're going to make some changes on this as on something else that is so important, which is our cost of living. That's the driving issue that everyone wants to see fixed here in California. That's what I'm going to fix on elections. It's just another example of the incompetence and ideology coming together. They've been messing around with our election systems in California for so long now, and you've got to this point where even the New York Times editorial board wrote a scathing editorial on California's elections, pointing out all the things that you've pointed out there and many more, which is that when you're moving to this system of sending mail ballots out to everyone, and then you've got voter rolls, which are years and years out of date, have millions of incorrect names on them, either people who've moved out of state or who've died. I mean, we all know that famous story of the dog who was registered to vote in Orange County, who voted in 2 elections, and then the poor dog died, and they still sent a ballot to the dead dog. That's what we're dealing with in California. And so the answer is to get back to some common sense. Of course, it's true that people who can't get to the polls need to have absentee ballots, but you should be able to do that by request only, instead of this sending ballots out. Millions of wrong ballots float around. Almost everyone in California has a story of ballots arriving at their house addressed to people who no longer live there. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster. And then, by the way, you talk about the postmark. In the rules in California, you don't even need a postmark for your ballot to count. You can handwrite the date. You can literally backdate your ballots. That's how crazy it's gotten.
Wow. Yeah. When you talk about the dog voting, I mean, it makes you smile, but you smile so you don't cry. You've got a new AI-generated campaign ad out that we've been talking about.
Yes.
It is blasting the Democrat leadership. The ad portraying Governor Gavin Newsom, the former Vice President Harris, your Democrat rival Javier Becerra, is part of a political machine keeping the state on the wrong track. Now, it's 2.5 minutes, so we're not going to show it all, but we are going to show just a short clip of it. Let's watch.
As long as the machine rules California, nothing will ever change.
The homelessness problem continues to worsen in California.
Gas prices in the state have reached a record high.
Another local favorite has closed down in Santa Monica.
Things have just gotten so expensive. I don't know if we can continue living here. We just want someone, anyone, to hear us.
Okay, we've got to figure out this governor thing. I'd do it forever, but it's my turn to be president. Bring in the machine.
Well, obviously the ad blames Democrats for high taxes, crime, homelessness, the high cost of living. Change is your message here, isn't it?
And that we're leading a movement for the people who have been crushed by this political machine that's been in power for so long, has given us the highest poverty rate in the country, the highest unemployment rate, the highest cost of living by far. And guess who's hurt the most by that? Working people, small businesses. They've been completely abandoned by the Democratic Party, and that's who I'm fighting for. My plan is very simple: to make our state Cal affordable. $3 gas, cut electric bills in half, your first 150 grand tax-free, starter homes for young families. Simple, positive, practical things. We do that by getting rid of this bloated, nanny state, bureaucratic government that's making everything so expensive, such a hassle to do anything, to run a business, to build anything. We need a complete change of direction. And the good news is that I know people look at the race in California and say, how are you going to win? It's such a Democrat state. Well, 66% of Californians in a recent poll think not just that the state needs change, but we need a major overhaul. So the people want change. We've just got to fight this machine, and then I think we can make it happen.
All right. Steve Hilton, thanks for spending time with us today.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye.